Alright guys, in this video I'm going to go over what a Google manual action penalty is, how you can actually acquire one of these penalties, and then what to do if you actually do acquire one and how to fix it. So let's get right into it. A Google manual action penalty is a penalty that Google manually imposes on a website for doing something that's against the Google guidelines for Google search. So what actually happens is an actual person from Google called a reviewer will manually review your website, and if they deem that it goes against their guidelines, they will actually apply the manual action penalty, which is why it's called a manual action penalty. So Google gives a list of reasons why you can get a manual action penalty. As you can see here, I pulled these from Google's actual official list, which is in this link. I'm going to put this link in the description below so you can read this for yourself if you want. But basically you can see here that most of this is to do with either spamming, deceiving users, or deliberately trying to deceive Google in some way. So for instance, site abused with third-party spam, user-generated spam, spammy free hosting, structured data issues, unnatural links to your site, so like backlinks essentially, unnatural links from your site, same situation, thin content with little or no added value, so basically spam content, cloaking and sneaky redirects, pure spam, cloaked images, hidden text and keyword stuffing, AMP content mismatch, sneaky mobile redirects, news and discover policy violations. So basically you can see it's what they deem as deceptive practices, whether for them or for users in one way or another. What happens when you actually get a manual action penalty? So what typically happens is your website will just completely drop off in the rankings substantially or completely, like 100% from the Google search results. So your site just gets de-indexed and your traffic and keyword rankings look something like this, where let's say for instance this site went from 180,000 users a month to 0. And that's usually what a manual action penalty will look like. It'll probably be steeper than this, realistically speaking, where it'll probably just be a sharp straight line down because it'll just go off very quickly, but it'll look something like this. Now, how do you actually know if you've got a manual action penalty? So typically speaking, what will happen is you'll get a notification in your Google Search Console. So if you go to the Google Search Console and then you can go into the security manual actions and the manual actions section, you will see if you have a penalty. So I'll show you an example of that now. If we go into mine, and then we go into security and manual actions, you can see here, no issues detected. If you have an issue, you will typically see a window or a message that looks like this, where it will say you have an issue and it will tell you what the manual action penalty is for. You can see here detected issues, gives you a brief description. You can match that up with the information in the Google link I showed you earlier, try and fix it, and then request a review from this section here. That goes into the next thing. How can you recover, or can you recover from a manual action penalty? And the answer is typically yes, you can. Google actually gives a guide on how to fix the manual action penalties. So if you open this link, I'll put this in the description below. You can go through here and they show how to actually fix the manual action penalty for each of the different things. So you would need to fix whatever the issue is, and then go into the Google Search Console and go request review to submit a reconsideration request through the Google Search Console to get them to have another look at it. So you open this up, you can go through here, and as you can see, there's this whole list that I posted, and here it'll tell you a description of what happens and what you can do to try and get rid of that manual action. So you can recover from it, but obviously it's not ideal to catch the case in the first place, as it were. Now, one quick note I want to make about these: that not all drop-offs in rankings are penalties. It's important to note that just because you dropped in the rankings does not mean that you actually got a penalty. A lot of people jump to the conclusion as soon as they dropped after an update or something, oh, my website's been penalized. But the fact is that most of the time it actually hasn't. In most cases, especially if you haven't seen the message in the Google Search Console, so you're not getting that manual action penalty, it's probably just a Google update that changed the ranking factors and your website dropped, like what happened in the helpful content update, a couple months back. And that's not a penalty, it's just the change in the ranking factors. So you need to be aware of this. Don't necessarily think you've got a manual action penalty. Go check it out in the Google Search Console. If you don't have the message, it's probably some other reason that you need to fix. So that's basically it for manual action penalties. That should give you a good overview of what they are and what to do about them. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below and I will answer them. Otherwise, if you'd like me to coach you on how to do SEO and Google ads for only $49 a month, go to learndominatemarketing.com. And if you'd like us to do the Google ads or SEO for your business, go to dominatemarketing.io, book a call with us there. Catch you on the next one.